respected President of the Tibetan community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, I'm happy to read out the statement of the Parliamentarian Group for Tibet at today's International Human Rights Day here in Geneva. Okay, thank you. The Parliamentary Group for Tibet condemns the massive human rights violations against Tibetans, Uyghurs and other ethnic groups by the government of the PRC. On International Human Rights Day, we take the opportunity to recognize that the massive violations of the rights of the people of Tibet, East Turkestan, Inner Mongolia and Hong Kong oppressed by the People's Republic of China are unacceptable. The violence and repression by the PRC's communist regime of all communities concerned is blatant violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was also signed by the PRC. With parliamentary interventions, the Parliamentarian Group for Tibet repeatedly calls on the Federal Council to clearly advocate for the observance of human rights in the PRC. We expect our government to always address the precarious human rights situation in the PRC in all its contacts with PRC representatives. In particular, members of religious communities in the PRC suffer from the obstruction of the free practice of their religion. This also affects other religious minorities such as Christians or members of Falun Gong. This pressure from the authorities in the PRC even extends far beyond the borders of the PRC. Tibetans and Uyghurs are systematically put under pressure worldwide, including the exiled communities in Switzerland. A report on this is to be published by the Federal Council in the coming weeks. The Federal Council must take action to protect members of the Tibetan and Uyghur diaspora from this increasing pressure from PRC. Switzerland must set clear limits for the all-powerful propaganda apparatus of the Communist United Front, which also exerts influence at many levels in Switzerland, and independent knowledge about the PRC must be increased on a broader scale. We see one possibility in promoting a center of expertise on these issues. The Federal Council intends to enter into new negotiations on the free trade agreement with the PRC as early as the beginning of next year. This will give it an opportunity to take a clear position and thus send a clear signal against human rights violations and forced labor. We are also convinced that Switzerland's dependence on production in the PRC and thus the supply chain risk must be reduced. As the host country of the UN Human Rights Council, Switzerland must pay particular attention to and promote respect for universal human rights in a responsible manner. Under no circumstances should it hide behind the argument of neutrality to escape its responsibility. Even so-called human rights dialogues with the PRC must not be used as an excuse to remain silent about the blatant violations of the rights of Tibetans and Uyghurs. The members of the Parliamentary Group for Tibet strongly support all non-violent activities to promote human rights and condemn all violations of these fundamental and universal rights to freedom of the Tibetan and Uyghur communities in all human matters. Kind regards, the co-presidents of the Parliamentary Group for Tibet, Fabian Molina, Nick Kucker, Nicolas Walder, and the Vice President of the group, Maya Graf. Thank you very much. Bodhgyalo!